everybody, I'm Ryan Medora and welcome to another video lesson. This is all about my new ebook, Beginner Improvisation for Bass Players, Volume 2. I actually came out with Volume 1 back in 2020 and it's still actually available as a free download on my website, ryanmedora.com, so you can head there and grab it. And I decided to make a follow-up to it just to, show you how you can take the concepts from the first one, expand upon it, learn a little bit more, and get some more musical knowledge under your belt. So Volume 2 takes, again, a very similar approach, but we take all the concepts from Volume 1 and take it one step further by using more cool chord progressions. And the whole purpose of the book is to help you learn how to either craft bass lines or improvise parts or fills when you're playing music. So if you're jamming, if you're playing with a band, if you're maybe doing a recording and trying to figure out how to come up with a bass part, this is all about teaching you how to use the basic musical building blocks, scales, arpeggios, voice leading, so that you can start to come up with interesting and creative bass lines. So as an introduction to Volume 2, I'm just going to kind of go over what you're going to expect to find in the first section, which is basically how to approach a very common chord progression, the awesome 1-5-6-4. This chord progression is a grouping of 4 chords that is very, very common in all kinds of music. Pop, rock, country, whatever. It's everywhere. It's probably the most common chord progression in popular music. And I'm going to show you a couple different ways you can approach playing to this chord progression. One cool thing about the ebook as well is that if you get it, it comes with backing tracks and audio examples, so you'll be able to practice along with all the goodness. And that's great. And you'll also be able to hear me play through all the examples so you know whether you're learning it right. Pretty cool. Anywho, let's go over this chord progression. So a 1-5-6-4 in the key of A means that I'm going to find my tonal center. Here's an A, 5th fret of my E string, and I'm just going to get my bearings by playing an A major scale. I'm going to descend. And then I'm going to say, okay, well, if we assign a number to each of these scale degrees and we build a chord on them, we would basically get our 1 chord as A. Our 5 chord, if we jump up here, we're going to have an E major chord. Sounds very nice. Our 6 chord would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 F sharp. And this is going to be an F sharp minor chord. So we could kind of, if you want, play a minor arpeggio to get hip to the sound of F sharp minor. And then we will find our 4 chord, 1, 2, 3, 4. That gives us a D. It's going to be major. And there's our D major chord. So this 4 chord song says, all right, if we're in the key of A, we want to find 1-5-6-4. We're going to have A major. We're going to have E major, F sharp minor, and then D major. Again, this should probably sound really familiar to you. And I'm going to show you first how to approach playing it with first some root notes. Then we're going to find some root notes in a couple different places, and then we're going to work in our arpeggios. So this is just the basic building blocks of learning how to improvise a bass line. So let's do it. Let's find some root notes. I'm going to just kind of play a groove. Jump up to the 5, E. I'm going to get my F sharp, the 6. I'm going to find my 4. Now, I'm going to play my A. I'm going to jump down to my open E. Then I'm going to get the F sharp on the 2nd fret. And then back to D. And then land on A. So already, this is hopefully going to help expand your knowledge of the fretboard, take you out of this 4 fret span, I can only play the notes here, and really show you that, part of improvising is knowing that you can play with register, you can play with direction, you can choose to go to your higher E or your lower E. It's fair game. As long as you're landing on the E chord, you're good. That's kind of the beauty of getting comfortable with your fretboard and getting comfortable with your instrument and knowing how to navigate moving from one chord to a next. And that's what this is all about. So once we found our root notes and we found them in a couple different places, the next thing that we can do is start to use our arpeggios when we kind of create a bass theme. So first thing we're going to do is go through it and play major or minor arpeggios to correspond with the chords. Our 1 chord is major, so we'll play an A major arpeggio. Our 5 chords major, so we could play here, or we could utilize our open E and play a major arpeggio like that. We can go to our 6th chord, the F sharp minor, and now we have to make sure we do play a minor arpeggio. We can do that where we start with the F sharp on the 2nd fret, or we can start with the F sharp here. And the cool thing is that there are a variety of fingering patterns for major and minor arpeggios, but we're going to kind of just stick with this guy for now. And then finally we want to land on our 4 chord D, which is also major, so we'll play a major triad here. And now we can kind of fit that into the framework of our groove. So we'll go like this. Play the low E because it sounds good. I'm going to go down to this F sharp. So already we're kind of building a cool bass line by just using the arpeggio. Now I'm going to flip the direction around, so I'm going to play 5-3, just like that. So instead of playing root 3rd 5th, I'm going to go root 5th 3rd. Just swap those 2 notes, and it's going to again give a different character to the groove that I'm playing. And so already we're starting to build our vocabulary. Now we can take maybe a little busier rhythmic approach by playing the arpeggios and playing a little more notes, because that can be fun. So this time I'm going to use my root, my 3rd, and my 5th, but I'm going to play a slightly busier rhythm to make the bass line. I'll go up here because I feel like it. Go down. And so the cool thing about this is once you get comfortable with the arpeggios and the shapes, you can mix and match a lot of different rhythmic patterns. You can play a little simpler, you can play busier, you can do one thing for 1 or 2 of the chords and make it a little busier on the other ones, and there's just a lot of variation. So again, the whole concept of this ebook is to get you familiar with common chord progressions, knowing how to play to them, ultimately being able to craft bass lines and improvise in real time or come up with fills, and just learn how to gain the confidence and the creativity to play on your instrument. So I hope you dug this. Again, please head over to my website, ryanmedora.com. You can find the ebooks 1 and 2 there, as well as backing tracks and bundles and all kinds of good stuff. And in the meantime, please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and I hope you found this information useful and that it works into your practicing routine. So happy practicing, everybody. Keep it groovy. I'll see you next time.